Hi, I'm Carl, and welcome back to Knack 3D Designs for what will be the last episode of the White Knight build series. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to install the thumb screws for our slide tray. We're going to install the display support bar. We're going to wire up and mount the display, and we're going to put the peeler on the back of our printer. So let's get started. Alright, so one of the last things we need to do is we need to go ahead and drill and tap these two holes for our knurled screws. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run my punch set, and I'm going to mark the centers of each of these holes. Now, I've gone and done this several times just to make sure I get nice deep marks there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull out the slide tray. Set it aside. Get our drill. And I need to find my metric 3 tap and drill bit set that I have somewhere here. A 3 millimeter tap, and I believe this is a 2.5 millimeter drill bit. Now I'm just going to go ahead and drill this out here and here, and I'm going to go ahead and set my vacuum cleaner up real quick so that it grabs as much of that dust as I can. And the next thing we will need to do is go ahead and tap that out to metric 3. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our circuit board assembly tray. Let me give you a better view of that. And the last thing we need to do is install our thumb screws. Our tray's not going anywhere, and that completes tapping and setting our screws for our tray. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is we need to install our display bar. To do that, we're going to need to go ahead and put in our T-nuts. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and line the T-nuts up flush with the end, just like that. Grab one of our two end caps. There is one flat edge. It doesn't have any tapers on the corners. That's the one that's going to go down. First one doesn't matter, but you're going to have to make sure you line the second cap up to match. The same thing for the other end. Now we gotta find our flat side. Now, the short side goes to the left, the long side goes to the right. So just set it in just like that. And then you can play with that just a little bit for the exact spacing. Now you're going to need your long bolts on this side. And I have gone ahead and put two washers on here. This is a pair of 30 millimeters for this side and a pair of 16 millimeters for that side. See how far off this side is. Now the trick here is, don't loosen these screws, loosen these screws. Now, I did make this nozzle holder pretty much the exact space to offset your display. So I advise putting the nozzle holder on first. That way you line up your display pretty much dead center. You'll need 4 T-nuts for that. Now, our display will set just like this. So we need to put in 2 T-nuts on this back part of the rail right here. That should line that up. Now I'm just going to put in 1 screw for the moment because we still need to put the connector on our display feed. Now this will let me figure out how long I need to make this. And I wasn't too far off with my wrap. Wow. So connectors right there. But I can go ahead, double check. Just put it in there like that. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to cut this right here. Let's see if I can find my wire cutters. Unravel this a little bit more. And next up, we will go ahead and wire this up. So you go ahead and separate these wires. Now just gotta pin all these wires up real quick. Now we just need to go ahead and crimp our pins on the end of each of these. Tabs up and toward me. Purple. Gray. White. And black. Alright. Now we can go ahead and put our wire wrap back around it. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the display loose. Wow.
I put one screw in it in the last step. Go ahead and plug in my connector. Now all this wire will tuck up nice and neat in there. Now I may have to put another wrap of wire loom so I can stuff it in there and have it stay in place. And then go ahead and secure the display. Maybe. There we go. And let's go ahead and hook up power and make sure all of our connections are good. We'll know almost immediately. Valve is off. Get all the mess off of here before we turn it on. Definitely want to get that out of there. Alright. So you guys can have a front row seat to the display. And here we go. See if it works. And voila! We have a working display. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some wire wrap on, a little more wire wrap on here so it'll stay up in place. And then I'll spin this around, and next step we will go ahead and put the peel on the end, and we will be done assembling our White Knight printer. Alright, last thing we need to install is our peeler. This is designed so that if a small part hangs onto your build tack sheet, it can roll around here and wedge between the table and the roller and cause your belt to jam up. We don't want that. This will take and cause your parts to hit it and roll them out of the way and peel them off so you don't have that problem. Now to install this, you're going to put 4 T-nuts in the bottom of your 4080 rails right here at the end, and you've got spots for 2 bolts on each side. Now I've done some custom wiring and lighting on this one, so I had to notch this out. I'm only going to put 1 screw on each side because I've got LED strips in that inner channel. Now you see the side with the tabs, that goes toward the roller. Just go ahead for the time being and butt it right up against the roller till you get it set in place. As you just start the screws a turn or two, so they can still move freely. And then what I like to do is I've got a little flathead screwdriver somewhere here. My tools are all over the place. I've been working too hard, too fast lately. Now I just drop that straight down in here. And once I get this set, and try to get about a small little flathead distance away, or you could probably put like a folded in half business card would probably work just as well. But enough that the belt can still roll free, but yet nothing can get in between, and that still looks too tight to be honest. For the most part, you want to line the tab up flush with the end of the extrusion. That usually seems to work pretty good. It all depends on how you've got your belt tightened and adjusted, but that'll get you pretty close. You want maybe 1/8 of an inch at most between the roller and the peeler. be pretty good. Now, I will go ahead and run the belt once, make sure nothing's rubbing against it, make sure it's good to go. I'll be ready with my wrench just in case I hear it rubbing, but we should be good with that much space. And I will give you guys a quick zoom in of what that looks like with the space at the roller. And that concludes the assembly of our White Knight printer. Happy printing, everybody.
Alright, so that wraps up the White Knight build series. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to leave them in the comments of each video and I will do my best to answer them. Maybe down the line as everybody starts building these, I may do a few live Q&A sessions. If you want to help support future development of the White Knight or the Squire, there are several ways in the description below to help support the channel. Thank you for tuning in and we'll see you soon. What? You're still here? It's over. The build series is over. Go home. Go make your own. Order parts. Build things. Create stuff. Go. Shoot. It's over. Go.